And Jesus said, once there was a father with 2 sons. The younger son came to his father and said, Father, don't you think it's time to give me the share of your estate that belongs to me? In essence, the son is saying, I would like your will given to me now. In essence, he's saying to the father, I wish you were dead. This inheritance is not supposed to happen until the death of the father. He's saying to the father, I'd rather have you dead if it means I get my stuff. So the father went ahead and distributed among the 2 sons their inheritance. Shortly afterward, the younger son packed up all his belongings and traveled off to see the world. He journeyed to a far-off land where he soon wasted all he was given in a binge of extravagant and reckless living. With everything spent and nothing left, he grew hungry, for there was a severe famine in the land. So he begged a farmer in that country to hire him. The farmer hired him and sent him out to feed the pigs. The son was so famished he was willing to even eat the slop given to the pigs, because no one would feed him a thing. Humiliated, the son finally realized what he was doing, and he thought, there are many workers at my father's house who have all the food they want with plenty to spare. They lack nothing. Why am I here dying of hunger, feeding these pigs and eating their slop? I want to go back home to my father's house, and I'll say to him, Father, I was wrong. I have sinned against you. I'll never be worthy to be called your son. Pivotal sentence. I'll never be worthy to be called your son. Please, Father, just treat me like one of your employees. So the young son set off for home. From a long distance away, watch this, his father saw him coming. Dressed as a beggar, and great compassion swelled up in his heart for his son who was returning home. So the father raced out to meet him. He swept him up in his arms, hugged him dearly, and kissed him over and over with tender love. Then the son said to the father, I was wrong. I have sinned against you. I could never deserve to be called your son. Just let me be. The father interrupted. Before the son could communicate the notion of slavery, the father interrupted. Before the son could ever misidentify himself as an employee, the father interrupted and said, son, you're home now. The father interrupted and said, son, you're home now. Turning to his servants, the father said, quick, bring me the best robe, my very own robe, and I'll place it on his shoulders. Bring me the ring, the seal of sonship, and I'll put it on his finger. Bring out the best shoes you can find for my son. Let's prepare a great feast and celebrate. For this beloved son of mine was once dead, but now he's alive again. He was once lost, but now he's found, and everyone celebrated with overflowing joy. I'm not going to get to the part about the second brother, but in light of that, and in light of the father's response to the failure of the son, I want you to watch why this story is so scandalous to the Pharisees Jesus is talking to in Luke 15. Deuteronomy chapter 21, verse 18. If a person has a stubborn, rebellious son who pays no attention to his father or mother, and they discipline him to no avail, his father and mother must seize him and bring him to the elders at the gate of the city. They must declare to the elders of the city, our son is stubborn and rebellious and pays no attention to what we say. He is a glutton and a drunkard. Then all of the men of the city must stone him to death. That is the active, current, ruling law while Jesus is telling this story. All of the men of the city must stone him to death. In this way you will purge out wickedness from among you, and all Israel will hear about it and be afraid. Why is the father running? To intercept the religious spirit that, according to the law, is planning on meeting that boy before he ever finds the father's driveway and stoning him at the gate of the city. But Abba comes running. An intervention. You understand who Jesus is talking to. Understand how they thought and how they believed. And he's saying, here's how you handle a wayward son. I don't care what the shadow book told you. This is not the shadow standing in front of you. This is the image of the invisible God. If you've seen me, you've seen the Father. Don't go to Deuteronomy to try to find out what my Father looks like. All of that is just a revelation of what was secretly in your heart all along. If you've seen me, you've seen the Father. In him dwells the fullness of the Godhead bodily. And Jesus says, I'm coming not just to tell you a story, I'm coming to change the rules. I'm not just coming to tell you a story. This is what Jesus would say to the Pharisees. He would say, you've heard it said, an eye for an eye. No. We haven't heard it said. God said it. I'm going to get in trouble here. I told Johnson I'm just getting in big trouble tonight. I'm looking forward to it. He said, you've heard it said, an eye for an eye. They're all thinking, we know what's going to happen to this son. He's going to get what he deserves. And let it be a lesson to all of the other sons who wander away. Jesus said, no, I haven't come to show you your ideas of the Father that you've called the law. I've come to actually show you the Father. And this is how the Father actually responds when one loses his way.